Hey everyone, and welcome back to session 3. We're going to be working on using Google Classroom. So we're going to take some of the skills we did in session 1 and session 2 about Drive and Docs, and now bring it into Google Classroom. So the goals for today is we're going to be modifying existing classrooms that we have. We're going to head on over to the home page and work within some of the settings in there. Then we'll head into Classroom and work on the settings inside of there and how we're turning things on, turning things off. We're going to be adding students, teachers, and guardians. We're going to set up the stream and see what sort of features live within there. We're going to create and modify the classwork structure, so the skeleton that you have set up, how you can modify it. And then we're going to add various assignments to the classwork area. So again, things that you created inside of your Drive, whether they were docs or slides or something else, we're going to start attaching them to an assignment and, seeing different ways that we can differentiate by sharing out to different groups of students based on their need. So I'm going to head on over to my tab up here. Okay, so as always, we start, if you want, at google.com, because once you're signed in, you'll see your face or the letter of your name up here. You'll know which account you're signed into when you hover over it. I'm in the correct account, so I am good to go. So what I'll do is I'm going to click on my waffle, and I'm going to simply look for the Classroom app. Otherwise, what you can do is you can come over here to the address bar and type in classroom.google.com as such. Okay. So here we are right now. Okay, and I have a whole bunch of classrooms, old ones, new ones. One of the things to point out is that right here, I was invited to be a teacher inside of a classroom. So you'll notice that it says accept or decline. So what I would do is I would click accept. This also lives inside of my Gmail. So I also got a notification in there to tell me that the other Miss Patanio had invited me to become a teacher in her class. So click accept. Right? And now I have the same permissions on both accounts. Just full transparency, that other account is the Google Enterprise account. So something to note that you can create a classroom on the NYC DOE Enterprise account, which is your schools.nyc.gov. And you could also have the one on your personal, your school level domain, and you could create yourself as a co-teacher. Okay. So what happened was as soon as I clicked accept, it brought me right into this classroom. So I'm going to head away from here. So I'm going to go back to my classroom dashboard by clicking the 3 lines on the left, also known as the pancake stack. And what I'll do is I'll click on classes to get myself back here. Okay. So again, some of the basics when we're in this dashboard. We have our waffle over here to navigate to the other apps. We have our create or join button. So again, you create your classes right from here, or if you're joining or students are joining, this is where they come to click join class. And whatever the code is that you have in your classroom, you would provide that to them and they would put in that classroom code. Okay. And again, if there's any issues with the account, you're in the wrong account, you would just click switch and it'll bring you to the appropriate one. All right. And then we have our to do, to review, and calendar. We're not getting into those today, but just note that they are here and they do serve a purpose. They are connected to our classrooms. I'm going to head back over to the pancake stack because within here, again, these are things that you just saw on top, the to review, the calendar, all the things that are connected. This will show me all of the classrooms in a vertical set. So what I see over here in app form, I see going down the vertical set here. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom because these are going to now show the ones that I'm enrolled in as a student. So these are the ones I own as a teacher or I'm a teacher in, and these are the ones I'm enrolled in as a student. I could also archive my classes. So if you're looking for a class maybe from last year, or if you want to archive a class, you would do that over here, and then it would live in this archived class section. So if I click on it, these are going to show me all the classes that I have put away. It doesn't delete them because the materials are still accessible, but it archives them so that it's not cluttering up your space. So I click back over here and I will go back to my regular classes. Okay, so just to show you, let's go to, I'm going to archive one of my classes. Let's see, I'm going to archive this one. So right over here, what I'll do is that I'm going to click on the three dots. So all of our classes have the three dots. As always in Google, that's another menu. I could move it. I could copy the invite link. So if I copy the invite link down here, it says link copied. I could share the link to the classroom that way to get somebody to join, one of the newer features. I could edit the class, copy the class, or archive. Like I said, for right now, I'm just going to click archive, and it's going to give me the basic information as to what's going to happen because of it. Okay, so classes can't be modified by teachers, but all the materials will still be okay and intact for the students and for you. And I'll click archive, and it goes into that area. So what we'll do now is we're going to head into our 2020-2021 demo class, right? So this is our stream. That's where it always opens up to. We have our stream, our classwork, our people, and our grades. Our stream is really just for notifications. Your stream can get overly cluttered depending on how you have it structured for your students. And that's something we can change inside of settings. So think of your stream as a place, let's say like Facebook or on Instagram. It's just the notifications and basic information that populates in the opening page. So stream isn't where you would put assignments. Stream might be where you might put an announcement. You might put something for parents to see, but it's not where you're putting an actual assignment. So for me, what I would do, share something with the class, I would say, please be sure to join our class meet at 10:30 a.m. today. Have your writing and rubric ready to share out, class. Okay. So again, just a general announcement. I can add an attachment, a link to it like I would in my classwork. So I could add something to this if I wanted, but again, it's not an assignment. So they won't be turning anything in. This is just for them to consume. And I could change it so that it goes to all my students, some of my students, or the whole class. And also I could change it so that it goes to just this classroom that I'm in right now, or it can go to other classrooms, even though I'm not inside of them. So really good feature. And it's also something you could do when you're creating your assignments. So think about what you're pushing out and if you have multiple classrooms. So I come over here, I click post, and that is that. So I see this right here where it says add class comment. I could add a class comment because I am the teacher. We're going to look at some of the settings on changing the commenting on here. So if I come on up to my settings wheel, which is up at the top right corner, right? I could make modifications to the class name. Let's say I didn't want this anymore. Let's say I needed a description. I could change it. I can make any modifications I need to inside of here at any point in time, right? We go down to our codes. So different ways that we can get folks into our classroom. So it is defaulted to manage the invite codes. It's turned on. I could turn it off. I could also reset it. Okay? So the invite code is this, right? So you have your class code. If by any chance somebody gives the code out to others and you don't want them in there, that's where you can reset the classroom code, and it would kind of, whoever you kicked out, let's say there was a student who shouldn't be in there or somebody who shouldn't be in there, you can kick them out, reset the code, and then they can't get back in. Okay? Then you also have the invite link. So this is what I mentioned before, what I copied when I was on the dashboard. You can copy this link and share it out with your students so that they can be invited into your class that way. And then if you were to display the code, you would click on this and it would display big. Again, all the same ways to get to the same endpoint, and it's getting the students into the classroom. Like I was just talking about the stream. So your stream can get very messy, right? right here, I have it set as only the teacher can post and comment. That is entirely up to you, right? You could have it set so that it's just you are there kind of putting information out for others to consume. You can also change it so that students can only comment. Again, up to you. You could put up your prompts up there and you might want students to comment on it. You also might want students to be able to post and comment. So it depends on the type of environment you have set up. You might want to start off with a little bit more restriction and then let the reins go, or you might just want to leave it solely for only teachers can comment. Okay, you might want to change this again in the spirit of things being cluttered. Classwork on the stream. So that other tab where you're going to be putting your assignments, right? They are going to show up. Normally it shows up on your stream. You can change that right here. See where it says hide notification. If you feel like your stream is becoming overwhelming, you can click hide notification so that the classwork that you posted will not show up on the stream. If you want the classwork to show up on the stream in some capacity so that students see it as the first thing when they come on, you might want to do show condensed notifications, which means it's just the heading. If you want it to be fully stretched out with details, that's when you would do show attachments and details. But again, try it out. This right here will give you a lot of information. And if you're posting a lot and that's your main source of pushing out your assignments, this could become a little bit overwhelming. So just give it a try. Just know that these are the 3 options you have. I'm going to change mine to show condensed notifications so that you can see what it looks like on my stream later. Show deleted items. You can turn that on. That's for you. Make sure that guardian summaries are on if you want to add a guardian to your students. So when we head over to the people section, you can add parents, guardians to a child, and they will get a notification at the end of a week, kind of a summary synopsis to whatever email they've given you. So if I am the parent and I say jpatanio@gmail is my mommy account and I've attached it to my son, I'm going to get an email summary of what he did. So this is the example summary that's here. Parents have no engagement on it. They're just getting the information from Google. You're not doing anything either. It's automatically going out based on what's submitted, what's late, all that jazz. So that's all. This is what it looks like. All right, close that out. The next part is your Meet. So we have it set right now so that's visible to students. That's the Meet link that lives on the stream. You'll see it at the top right on, I'll show you in the banner, and it also lives inside of your classwork area up at the top. You can reset this in case you're having any issues with folks coming into your class that shouldn't. You could always reset it. You can also turn this off if you need to, all right? Or you can turn it on. I always suggest that if you're not using it, maybe turn it off so that students can't access it. It doesn't mean that they can't have it copied, but you can turn it off so that they can't see it. We're not going to touch on grading today. We're going to move on up, and you have to click Save to go back to your settings. Okay, so just to point out to you, I was talking about the header before, right? The class code also lives here, so you can access it quickly. And then that Meet link also lives here. Remember I said I was going to make it not visible for my students? This is how I know. I have the little eyeball with the X, right? So it's not visible to students. I'm the teacher. That is why I can see it right now. But this would go away for them. So I have no upcoming assignments because they would show up over here. So we're going to head on over to classwork in a few moments, but I do want to head to people so we can look at what adding a guardian is. So you could add as many people as you need to for teachers. So these people have the same rights that you do in the classroom. So maybe you're adding a speech teacher, maybe you're adding an ICT partner, maybe you're adding a physical education teacher to the class. It's a good idea to maybe have some outside folks who support your students so that you're able to keep continuity in what is happening in the classroom. So they're able to kind of collaborate and work along with you. So I'm going to head on down to my student area, and you'll see that I have a couple of students inside, and some of them already have parents attached to them. So you'll see that you can have more than one guardian attached to a child. So if I come here and I click invite guardian, all I would do is put in the guardian's email and click invite. And then it'll be gray, letting me know that I invited that guardian. Once they've accepted, it will turn black. If I need to change anything, right, I come over here to the three dots, I look for the menu, email the student, email the guardian, invite, or remove the guardian. So you have those different options that you can do from this part. And then also, if I click on the checkbox, I could either do all students, one student, and I have direct actions. Again, you can email them, you can remove them, and you can mute them, right? All right, so we're going to head on up. Your teachers and your students we looked at it earlier on where in the platform dashboard, you clicked on the plus button at the top right. You were able to join a class that way. You were able to put in the code. You were able to copy the link and share it out with somebody. And then you can also invite folks in this way. So we have the plus button up here and the plus button down here. You click on it. You would type in the email address. And what happens is when we first started the video, I had that accept or decline option for the classroom. And that's what the student would see. They would see accept it or decline it. So you want to make sure that they click accept if you're going that road. They also get a notification in their Gmail if it is turned on that they've been invited to a class. Okay. All right, so let's head on over to our classwork. So this is where the meat and potatoes happen, right? So you probably have a structure set up. It's really important, and I say this all the time, that you have some type of structure in place and you go in with how you think it should work best. It might be a school-wide initiative, it might be a grade level, or it might be a personal thing, how you want to have it set up. Right now, I have it set up with attendance at the top, resources. You could have it set by week, or you could have it set by date. It doesn't matter. It's whatever works best for you. So you'll see that I have my topics. These are the topics right here. Okay, they're in the bold face. This right here, this is an assignment that is not placed inside of a topic. So the beauty of Google is that everything is pretty much drag and drop now. So this assignment right here, I could either click on the three dots on the side. Oops. Oh, look at that. They don't have the move feature anymore because it's drag and drop. All right. So what we'll do is we're going to grab this, right? We're going to grab this and we are going to drag it, see this, and drop it. We'll drop it right here, right above. Okay. And see it says assignment 1. Very easy. That's all I have to do if I need to move things around. No need to worry if there was any mistakes made. And you'll also see that this is grayed out because this is in draft form. I never published it. Things that were published are green and have their due date and say when it was posted. Okay? Otherwise, it will remain gray. So just to go back to the topics, if I click here, I could fix my topics up by renaming them. I could delete them. I can move them up or down. Obviously, I can't move this up because it's all the way up at the top. I could also move it down. Same thing as I did with the assignments. I could also drag and drop the topics as well up and down. If things get a little messy or out of order, I can pull them back and forth. Okay. So what we'll do now is we're going to create. We're going to use some of the things that we did in the first and second session and create an assignment here. So I'm going to click create. We'll work with assignments first, right? And let me see. So I know that I made a book review. Book review? Let's look. All right, so we're going to, so these are some of the templates that we did inside of I think it was the second session. So we started building out a literacy board, so a choice menu. Let's say, I'm going to pick that. So that'll be our assignment. So literacy board activity. We're going to give directions. open up your copy of the Literacy Choice Board. Continue. Semantics. Choose. Actually, we'll say follow the directions on the document. Be sure to select your 3 tasks: vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. Now, this is the assumption that, the students have been exposed to this before and sort of know the schematic and how it's laid out. So I'm just going to be very generic when it comes to this. So, but be sure that you are selecting the 3 topics, right? Use the toolbar in Google Docs to fill in the squares you chose for the activity. Okay, so I've given them some context, right? And what I'll do now is I'm going to click Add, right? And I'm going to click Google Drive because I'm going to pull in directly from the folder that I have created called Templates for Google. Okay, so these are the ones that pop up automatically. These are the ones that I used recently. So I know the folder name, Google. So I'm going to search for this. It should make it a little bit easier for me to find. Okay, so here is the folder, right? I like to keep myself organized. It shows me my breadcrumb tree as to where this lives. This is the literacy board I was talking about. Remember, I also have the translated copy because I was able to translate it. So if I need to add both copies to this assignment, I can choose my translated one and my English one, or I can just do this one. I actually might do both so that my students have the option of using either one. So now what I can do is I can decide, do I want all students to be able to view this one file together where they can only see it? Do I want them to be able to edit it, which means that every student is on the same document and can edit it? It's not the type of activity we're doing. Or am I making a copy for each student? I am making a copy for each student. That is it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. My translated copy, again, depending on if this is going out to all my students, I might leave this just as a students can view as a resource that they can see, or I might change it to make a copy for each student and then give them the option to choose which one they wanted to work on, right? Okay, so now I have that. One of the other things that I like is that I can add links to this, and I can also add YouTube videos. So if I needed to have something that was a little bit more descriptive and explaining to my students what was expected of them, I could add a YouTube video of myself giving them some context of what the choice board is and how they can navigate it. So I can make a screencast like I'm doing today, and I could put that into my assignment over here. Okay? So just an extra feature, an extra layer that you can add, right? And then also, I could also add a link to an outside resource for my students as well, depending on the assignment. So lastly, I'm going to come on over here, and like I said before, same thing with the stream, you're able to push this out to as many classes as you want, right? I could decide I want to send this out to 3 different classrooms. However, I can't then delineate which students it goes to. So I could either make an assignment and send it out to everyone in all 3 classes, or I could just stick to my one class and I could break down the students that it goes to. So I can go to all students, or I could send it to just 3 of my students. I could decide on my point value. Is this going to be 100? Is it going to be ungraded? Is it going to be out of 4? That's up to you. Okay. And then when I come on down to due date, this is very important to keep things kind of set so that they have the upcoming and what to do. And then the notification that goes out to parents lets them know if it was late or on time. So let's say I want to make this December 9th. I could put the time. I don't have to. And then I definitely want to put a topic. So it's not a huge deal if you forget the topic, because like I showed you before, you can just drag and drop. Otherwise, what we'll have to do is we're going to find the topic we want to put it in. I don't have one that I want, so I'm going to do create a topic, and I'm going to call it December. Oh, wait, I'm going to get fancy only because I have a Mac. So I could right click and put in my emoji. So I might put in a snowman or a snowflake. All right, we'll put in a snowflake. We're going to call this December. All right, get fancy. And then I have my topic good to go. So I have my December topic. And then I come on up here. I could either assign it right to start. I could schedule it. So if I want to make the same assignment ready to go out every Monday, I could schedule my assignments to have them just automatically go or save as a draft. But we're going to assign it right now. Okay. And then once this goes out, we're going to see it on our classwork, right? So this is the newest topic. That's why it's up at the top. And we have the activity that is now due. So I'm going to head back over to my stream just to show you that. Here we go. This is the activity shown in that condensed form, right? This is the condensed form. If it wasn't condensed, it would have all the attachments listed. If I had it set as hide notifications, you wouldn't see this at all, right? If I click up this over here, it's going to tell me what activities I have upcoming in the next couple of months. So those are the items that my students have to turn in. And things that, so it says to review. Those are things that I need to get to as a teacher. And then reviewed, I have no reviewed work. So this is my way of keeping myself on task. So when you click to review, these are the items that you have to attend to as the teacher. Okay? And if I need to go look at other classes, you can also do that right from here as well. So I'm just going to go back. Right? And I'm going to go back again. All right. So those are the basics of creating your assignments, right? You can also mention you can create material. Creating material is very helpful if you want to. So right over here, I have a resources topic, which I'm going to drag back up to the top. This is where you can put websites or videos or links to things that you want your students to see that are pretty much just material, just like anchor charts or things of that nature. So the icon is different. So right here, this is what it looks like. It looks like a bookmark, and it varies from the check, the sort of like clipboard that is the assignment. So if you want to do your material, you would just come here, and it's very similar. You would put the material name, you would give it the description. The only thing that's different is that it does not have who you're assigning it to or that type of stuff, or like the grading attached to it, just the topic. And it's going to go into the resources topic, right? Because that's where we're putting our material. But this is just meant to be just that, material, things to push out to you for you to be able to access. You might have resources broken down into resources for, let's rename this, resources for writing. Could be resources for the month of December. It could be however you want it to be and however you want it to be grouped. So you might have resources for the month of, let's say if this is resources for the month of December, change that. You might have or want to move all of your activities so that they look like this. So resources for December with your December activities and your attendance. And then you could recreate them and have them in those 3 chunks for the whole entire year. But it all depends on how you want it to look. And let's look at so everything works together. Everything is married. So I mentioned before, there was some, there was calendar you saw, there was tasks. Everything talks to each other, all the apps within here. So to make the connection between Drive, it is very important. Right here, you see class Drive folder. Everything that's in here lives inside of your Drive. So everything we're adding, all the duplications, all the student work, it's going into this Classroom Drive folder. So when I click on it, it is opening up my nice messy drive that I have. So see over here how I had this link open? It is going to open up my drive to another folder. And that other folder is the classroom folder, which was automatically created for us when we first signed up for Google Classroom. And then it brings me into the class that we are in. So every single class that you create has its own separate folder. And here is the class that we are in, right? So I'm just going to go back, see 2020, 2021 demo class. And then here it is in the Drive folder format. So the activities that I created, literacy board activity, which we just did now, and then that back to school inventory was another assignment that I made. Each assignment that I pushed out that has the students making their own copy live inside of here. So if I want to check in on my students, I have their work in here. So if I tap on it, I'll see that Liz was assigned this, and hers lives inside of here. So if I had all of my students doing this assignment, they would all be in here. In the same breath, Liz on her end as the student, she will only have her work, right? She only has her work. So up here we have our breadcrumb trail, super simple. I am going to just go back to the main classwork folder. So this, do not edit. This is automatically created for you. This is the template. So I attached the literacy board activity to an assignment. That was created in my drive. So over here, again, I have this open. I made templates for Google folder, right? And inside of here, I built out my document, which is a HyperDoc, right? I created this. What I did was inside of Classroom, I attached both of these to an assignment. Those assignments were duplicated for me. So they actually made a template for me so that the integrity of the original one I created is not touched. And it still lives in that folder, which is over here, still lives in here. This one, what happened was it made a copy, made a template, and it now lives inside of here. And I'm not going to edit anything in here. It's just going to sit in here. So you can pretty much create your documents anywhere you want. And then once you pull them in as an assignment, they're just duplicated. And it's like kind of setting it aside for you so that you don't lose anything or nothing gets ruined. So everything stays as it is. I like to create things outside, and then I like to just pull them into my classroom. So that's pretty much how it all works out. And then this right here, please do your reading log. This is another assignment that I pushed out to Liz, and that lives inside of here as well. So you'll see that those are all the different assignments that I had pushed out to everyone. Okay. And last but not least, what we will look at is how to create inside of close these out. You could also have students create inside of an assignment. So I'm going to head back over to this one so I can show you what it looks like to modify an assignment. So if I tap on it, right, I could see what it is that I put out there to the students. See, I can click on either one of these. I could also click View Assignment. I'll get to editing it in a minute. But when I view the assignment, this is where I can have a look at what they're doing while they're doing it. So if I am actually running a live lesson right now and I push this out to them, I could peek in on them. So if I give them a time limit of, okay, we had our meet, I did my mini lesson, now you're going off and you're going to work on this yourself, I could pop in on them and see what is happening. So if I wanted to look in on Alice, I could see how she's progressing on her literacy board activity, right? I can see it here. I can make comments to her as she's moving through. See, she's got the private comments area, and we can talk about what is happening. So I can kind of keep tabs on them. And then once they're done and they've turned it in, I can just give them their grade and return it to them all right here. But it's a nice way to view it, and you could see live as it's turned in. But I'm going to go back because I want to edit this really quick. So to edit it, I click on the three dots. I click Edit. All right. I might also, tell my students to create. Once you are done, create your own, let's see, create your own, maybe I want them to create their own choice board for a friend. So that might be an extension activity. Click on the create button. So just so you know, in this, I see the create underneath my my text box, but for the students, I believe they see the create on the right-hand side where it says turn in. So one of the other good things to do is to make sure that you have maybe a dummy account inside of your classroom so you can see as a student. So you could be a student and view what it looks like for students. So it's a good practice so that you can kind of see what's going on. So on the right, so we're going to give them, once you're done, create your own choice board for a friend. Click on the create button on the right to open a blank doc. Okay. Once you are done, so we don't need to give them any more than that. So what they'll do is they're coming over here, right? And they're creating a document that is attaching to this. So again, these are sort of some prerequisite skills that your students are going to have. But just knowing that the option is there is a good thing. So you can always give them the creative license to say, hey, I want you to, read. We're all reading this together. I want you to create a notes document for yourself or create a note catcher for yourself. And that can give the students the opportunity to decide maybe they want to use docs, slides, sheets, whatever it is. But they have the ability to create something inside of an assignment that you give them. And then again, I will click save. So those are some of the basics. We'll have some more sessions around classroom and some more of the intricacies around grading, rubrics, and building out some more templates inside of this. So hope you enjoyed, and be sure to do the pause and play slide after this and contribute to the Padlet based on what you've learned, what you've been doing, and maybe share out some of the great work that you have with others. Have a great day, everyone.